For a sport with all this parity, that's often a point I make about the Sabres missing the playoffs 14 years in a row. It's more incredible in any NHL to do that because there's more parity in the NHL. And I do think there is more. But even within that, Florida's made the finals 3 years in a row, and before that, Tampa made the finals 3 years in a row, and a couple years before that, the Penguins won back-to-back, and the Blackhawks won 3 of 4 or 3 of 5 or whatever, right? And the Kings won 2 of 3. You do get in the NHL still a lot of the same teams that go. Not 5 in a row maybe, but you get 2 teams in the Eastern Conference in the last 6 years.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you made the point yesterday, and they were talking about this last night, that pretty much the state of Florida has just dominated the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
At least as far as teams showing up out of the Eastern Conference. It's Florida, Tampa.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Paul Bissonnette, I think, got in, I don't want to say hot water, but he sparked some debate yesterday because he said on the TNT broadcast that he thinks in the next NHL CBA they need to do something about Florida state taxes with players.
Yeah, I mean, that's not happening. I mean,
it's not happening.
I don't think, yeah.
What, are you going to have a different salary cap for different teams dependent on how the state tax laws are in that state? I just think you're getting too complicated. I do think there is some impact. I think you do get some guys that might stay on a hometown discount more likely because of that. But I don't think the impact is nearly large enough to warrant what Bissonnette said last night, which is we need to redo how we do the salary cap because in Florida and in Washington, it's different than it is in New York State. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, Canada falls into this too, right? You talk about Canada and how you get paid in U.S. dollars, and at different times what the difference is between Canadian and U.S. dollars. They talk about things like that. But look, I mean, this is something that happens obviously in life. We talk about with different taxes and businesses. Think about also what's happened with stadiums and building stadiums and teams, and all the teams have kind of left California or moved because of the different tax structures